Pony Fantasy V, Exodus of the Void, by G.M. Blackjack. Chapter 12, Memory Shadows. The four mares once more stood at the entrance to the Uniforge pub. Applejack let out a breath. Well, I hope Twilight's still here. She exchanged glances with everyone before trotting in. She passed the piano without even giving it a glance, heading right for where Twilight last was. It appeared that the purple unicorn hadn't moved from her seat. She smelled of alcohol, sweat, and tears. She was simply staring ahead, a lost look on her face. Applejack walked up. Hey, Twilight said, without lifting her head. Did Lyra drop by? Nope. Applejack inwardly cursed. That wasn't good. Well, I'm sure she's coming. We all saw her at the library. She was probably doing important work, and she shouldn't bother stopping for me. What? The five mares turned to see Lyra standing in the doorway, staring at Twilight, jaw slack. How could you say that? I always have time for you. Lyra, surely you've seen what I've done. Solomon Castle is a crater, Uniforge is in ruins, and most of the crystals have been destroyed. I'm a failure. Lyra slapped Twilight across the face. Snap out of it! You never gave up. You told me never to give up, even when things got tough. Twilight rubbed her cheek, startled. But... no buts. Practice what you preach. The world isn't gone yet, and yet here you are, wasting your brilliant mind moping while you could be out saving everyone. Twilight stared deeply into Lyra's eyes. Then she let out a sigh while laughing slightly. You're right. She stepped onto the counter, a determined look on her face. The Earth Crystal is still out there, waiting for us to find it. Somewhere in the lost city of Cadenza it lies, and we will be there to protect it. But how are we going to find it? Rarity asked. Lyra grinned. Well, in my research, I found that while the nation of Cadenza proper is completely walled off by the shifting sands or tremendous mountains, they did have a colony on Crescent Island. Maybe clues can be found there? Twilight lit up. Or what about this? I believe I can fashion a sand ship to cross the shifting sands. All you would need for it is a lot of rudders and some heat-resistant material. Rainbow Dash grinned. How about you guys start working on the sand ship, and we go check out Crescent Island? That sounds brilliant, Twilight said, squeeing. You can have the fire-powered ship. Rainbow Dash's jaw dropped, her eyes sparkling in wonderment. You mean I can just have it? Without having to steal it? She flapped into the air. Woohoo! Yeah! Of course, I'll have to prepare it for a voyage, Twilight said, the Pegasus's remark failing to register. But with Lyra's help, I'm sure I can have it ready within a day. Sounds like a plan, Applejack said, nodding. Let's go save the world! Everyone hoof-bumped and cheered before making their way out of the bar. They were ready to take on the world, and they were about to get a ship to do it. Things were looking up. However, before they could leave, Applejack found herself tensing as she passed the piano. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it! She sighed as she sat down in front of the piano and began to play. When she stopped, there were no boos, but no cheers either. Applejack, Rarity said, cocking her head. That actually sounded like it was a song. A very simplistic one, granted, but you may actually be getting better. It's as if you have a natural talent. Applejack blinked. Huh, was all she said. Chop chop, Lyra yelled from the doorway. We've got a boat to prepare. Pinkie, Rarity, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Twilight were in the ship's main cabin, Twilight taking a little break from adjusting the ship. Lyra was able to take care of the preparations for a little while. No way! Twilight gasped. Oh, it really did happen, dear, Rarity said, drinking some tea she had prepared. That water tower collapsed while we were in it. Were it not for Rainbow Dash and Spike's brave sacrifice, we would be goners. Rainbow Dash sighed, looking out the window. Rarity put a hoof to her mouth. Oh, Rainbow, I'm sorry. Don't be. He should be remembered as a hero. I just wish he was here to see this. He would have loved this ship. That he would have, Applejack nodded. She turned to Pinkie. You've been awfully quiet lately. What's on your mind? Pinkie's face was blank, her normally cheerful expression absent. I think I remember something. Really? What is it? Rarity smirked. Is it a memory of you being an alien? Sorta? Kinda? No? Yes? Pinkie said, obviously confused. She held her head. Oh, why does remembering have to give me a headache? What do you remember, Pinks? Rainbow questioned. I have a daughter, Pinkie said, furrowing her brow and closing her eyes. Her name is Flutter something. Flutterbutter? Flutterwind? Fluttershy! Her eyes lit up. Her name is Fluttershy. That's a good start, Applejack said. Anything else? She was angry at me, and slapped me, just like Lyra slapped Twilight. Mom! Pinkie looked up from the castle balcony, tearing her gaze away from the tremendous launch site, consisting of a large magical ring covered in runes surrounded by a giant rock. The launch site was truly a sight to behold, especially since the runes had just begun to glow unnatural colors, preparing for their singular purpose. What is it, Fluttershy? You can't possibly be thinking of going. I have to, silly, Pinkie giggled. The others have got kingdoms to run, or have gotten too old. I'm the only one left to go back. Send me. Fluttershy, you don't even have your cutie mark yet. I'm the best choice. Fluttershy slapped her. Her eyes widened briefly, realizing that she'd just hit her own mother. She cowered slightly, but eventually allowed herself to lock eyes with Pinkie once more. But what if you don't come back? Tears were in her eyes. Kiddo, I've been there and back once before, and I'm none the worse for the wear. Pinkie giggled. I know how to drive these meteors. I bet I can crash without any problems. She blinked, realizing what she had just said. Great. Stupid Murphy. What? Don't worry, Fluttershy, Pinkie said quickly, covering her slip-up. I will be back before you finish eating that cake I baked you this morning. What cake? This one, Pinkie said, gesturing at a giant cake that hadn't been there a moment ago. She grinned. Fluttershy rolled her eyes. I still don't want you to go. I know, Flutters, but the seals are breaking. The four-mound forest won't hold X-Death anymore, and no pony on that world even knows that he exists. We have to do something, or my name isn't Pinkamena Diane Pie. Fluttershy's head sagged. Oh, okay. But on one condition. What is it, Flutters? That... Pinkie grabbed her head. I can't remember anything else. Just that. That's it. Rarity's jaw hung slack. So, you really are from another world? Came here on that meteor? Yeah, Pinkie said, smirking. Told you it was alien superpowers. Well, I'll be darned, Applejack said. You really are from up there somewhere. Twilight stared at Pinkie in fascination. A true being from off-world. I had theorized that other worlds could sustain life, but I never expected to actually meet one. What is your world like? Pinkie snorted. I have no idea. All I remember is some castle and a large meteor launch site. And if that's anything to go by, I have a sneaking suspicion that's not what the rest of the world looks like. Maybe I live in a cotton candy tree. Wouldn't that be awesome? Rainbow Dash rolled her eyes. Yeah. Moving on, what kind of a name is XII? Pinkie giggled. I have no idea, but it does sound a little over the top. I'm pretty sure it's not a pony name, and it sounds an awful lot like our big bad, unless we end up with a greater scope villain or something. What? Pinkie rolled her eyes. Just judging the story here, don't mind me, she giggled. Regardless, Applejack said, we've got to hurry along so this XII can't be revived and destroy the world or whatever he wants to do. Can't be good if he's willing to destroy the crystals. Twilight nodded. We'll divide and conquer. At that point, Lyra ran into the cabin. Done! Twilight's eyes widened. Done? Done. Done? Done. Done! Pinkie joined in. This is a fun game. Lyra grinned. The ship is ready for launch. The rockets are primed and ready. You have enough fuel stored up to last you for years. She grinned. Happy sailing. But this isn't really sailing. There's no sail, Rarity observed. Rocketing then, whatever, Lyra waved a hoof. The point is, you have a vessel to go check on the Crescent Island. Go forth and adventure. Rainbow Dash grinned, trotting up to the wheel of the ship. Show me where the on and off buttons are. Lyra gestured with her hoof and turned to Twilight. Twilight nodded. We wish you good fortune. Come back soon. We will not stand by as this XII destroys the Earth Crystal. Pinkie grinned. Silly, as if we'd ever leave you behind. You're our friend now. One of us. But the crystals didn't... Rarity began. Pshaw, Pinkie said. Who cares? We can choose our own companions, right? The crystals aren't our slave masters or anything. Darn tootin', Applejack agreed. Heck yeah, Rainbow Dash grinned. Twilight nodded. I have to say, I've only known you for a short time, and it has been the most eventful time of my life. She smirked. By the way, the ship has a name now. What is it? Rainbow Dash asked. The Celestia, Twilight responded, her smile faltering. See you soon, Warriors of Light. She teleported herself and Lyra off the ship. Rainbow Dash turned to the wheel. Here we go! Rarity put a hoof to her crown at the... She realized they were letting Rainbow Dash, the crazy, brash, and headstrong pirate, drive the ship. Rainbow Dash, don't you think we should test... Nope, Rainbow Dash interrupted, hitting the button. Nothing happened. Rarity sighed in relief, letting her hoof off her crown. Okay, that was probably the off button. Good to know. She hit the other button, and the ship roared to life, taking off down the river with an absurd acceleration, tossing Rarity's crown off her head. Trails of fire streaked behind the ship's two rockets, burning some of the shore buildings. The Celestia tore into the sea, leaving behind a trail of smoke, glowing with the brilliance of the sun. Something just occurred to me. Is Dash illiterate? In this, not in canon. Let's see. She couldn't find out which buttons were the on and off buttons, although we don't know if they were clearly labeled, or at least I don't recall. Also, way back in the sunken ship graveyard thing, there was the issue where she was like, this X probably means we're here. And then Pinkie pops up with telling her the words written on it. Have we ever seen her read anything? I don't think so. Not terribly important to the story, but hey, I just realized I think that the pirate captain Rainbow Dash is illiterate. That would make sense given the setting. Not everyone could read, and that wasn't a job that generally went with a a good education. Anyway, thank you for listening. I will see you again next time. Goodbye, everyone.